we back, and we back, and we back, and we back, and we back.
Aside from that, let's get into the topic.
Yeah,
for
this is a fun topic.
Evening.
This is a fun millennial topic.
We were talking about threads. We were talking about X and Twitter earlier. We were talking about, a whole bunch of social media. But before all those were created, we had MySpace.
MySpace.
Do y'all remember MySpace? All of our Gen Xers and our millennials?
Oh my gosh. MySpace is... We lived through history, I will say.
I want to say, so MySpace wasn't the first social media website. And I think even before that, there was like dating websites and like different like
rating. Have you been on any rating websites? Like rate?
I've played the rating games, but I never put a photo up.
I actually was on one before. I can't believe, like, I don't even know how our parents didn't even know we were on these websites. Like,
girl, we were secretive.
There's like rating websites, I swear. And it's like, I know.
Hot or not.
Hot or no. Last time, this was like before like Tinder days and like, you know, I was like, if I went Tinder and stuff and all those dating apps came out and I was single, I don't know. I would always be like, I don't know if I'd ever be on those. But then I think back and I'm like, bro, I was on these like other websites. Like, what's the difference with these apps and these websites? But
dude,
these chat rooms.
I was a hot mess.
AOL chat rooms.
Like,
but
I would say that the first social media platform I was on was MySpace, but I did do the dating sites after the fact.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Which ones?
The free ones.
The free ones.
Plenty of Fish.
You did that one?
Yuck, dude.
I feel like it's an
so
older
gross.
like generation on there.
Hi, that's me. I was kidding. No, but yeah, with like dating sites and stuff like that, you could put your dating range.
Yeah.
So I only saw people who were in my range or whatever range I put, which was never like more than a year or two older than me or like a year or two younger than me. And I was in my early 20s and oh my God, I was just like, I was a hot mess. And those sites were a hot mess too. And like some of the people on there, of course, they were just looking to hook up and not like get to know people. And it was just like a cesspool.
It's like the earlier times of Tinder.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes. Tinder was a little bit, it was easier to use because it was just
More
a swipe instead of like
the whole profile on
exactly
that one. Where you actually had to spend time like typing out what you're into and
yes
stuff.
I'm trying to think of another one that wasn't Plenty of Fish, but it was like equally as dirty.
Are you serious? Yeah,
Or like Ratchet.
I never really got on the dating apps. Just like I said, like the rating ones where you like rate people, but it never escalated. At least I never entertained, like, you know what I mean, the messages or whatever. Which I know it's as a kid, like, because think about it, you're a kid, you're in freaking college and high school. I feel like you're a kid. If you're in college, you're a kid. Okay, I'm gonna just say that.
Yeah, early 20s, you're a kid.
Yeah. So I want to say I was more on like blogging. Like, have you ever heard of Zanga? Were you ever on
I've
there?
heard of it with an X, right?
Yes. Were you ever on there?
No, I wasn't.
Were you on Tumblr? That was after, I think, later on.
You know what?
I think that was after MySpace.
I was late on Tumblr. Like, I would only go on there if somebody sent me a link to something or, you know, an article.
Tumblr was fun. I think I loved Zanga, though, because Zanga replicated to me kind of like what MySpace was, because you can also code and create your own little
I didn't know that.
fun things. And I've always, obviously, with my like journalism background and blogging has like always been my thing. So that's kind of like my favorite thing. And of course, mine was decked out with Usher or Chad Michael Murray. I was obsessed with one trio. And yeah.
By the way,
what?
On our previous episode, you mentioned Chad Michael Murray being in that
he's
Mother of the Bride.
He's not even in that movie like crazy. Like
not
I
at
thought.
all.
He's in there for like 10 minutes.
You know what? I put that movie on. I didn't pay super close attention to it, but when he got on screen, I didn't know it was him at first until like he went on screen the second time. And I was like, oh shit, that's him.
And they use the same name in One Tree Hill, Lucas, I think. And I'm like, they couldn't find another name.
That's hilarious. But isn't it so funny how time just changes someone's appearance?
But also, isn't it weird? Like, there's a lot of movies that are trying to normalize older women with younger men.
I like that.
Because I don't know how far apart that Mother of the Bride was. Who was that actress?
Oh,
Brooke
Shields.
Okay, so she's a lot older than Chad Michael Murray, right?
Yes.
And then there's a new Zac Efron movie, and
Yes.
he's with Nicole Kidman, and
That's right.
that could be like his mom.
Right. Well,
Like
yeah,
the
yeah.
age difference.
Mhm.
Like
Yep.
he's like my age, like what, 36, Zac Efron, and then what, Nicole Kidman's in her 50s, 60s?
Yeah, she's got to
50s?
be in her. I think she's like the same age as Tom Cruise. They're approaching 60. I think. Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know how I feel about it. It kind of makes me feel uncomfortable because I'm like, that could be your parent, but
That's true.
I mean, if you're of age, I mean, I don't know.
yeah,
It's kinda-
if you're well into like your 30s and you meet someone 20 years older than you, I don't think it's that crazy. I mean, hey, whatever your intentions are with the other person, you know, if it's for love or finances, I don't know, it's up to you. But at least if you're like, you know, well into your adulthood and
Yeah.
someone else is like significantly older than you, that doesn't scream red flag to me.
Yeah.
So much so as if you're like 18 and you're dating like a 50-year-old, you know.
Oh,
That's
I
so
just
weird.
thought of Leonardo DiCaprio, like with his
Oh,
20-year-old girlfriends.
Ooh. I did not know he had a preference like that until recently.
Recently, that's like old news. Where you been?
Oh, under a rock.
Yeah, that's old news.
So here's the other dating site that I couldn't think of.
What
I
was
was on
it?
OkCupid.
Okay,
Oh.
Cupid. It sounds so familiar to me. I wasn't on there,
OkCupid.
but I do remember hearing about it.
Yeah, so
That's funny.
OkCupid and Plenty of Fish, they were both free dating sites that had like the widest range of people on there. And not to say that I'm like in the top 10 percentile of like quality people that were on there, but there's just so many people who were like using older fake pictures, lying about their age, lying about their height. It's just like you can
About
just
their
tell.
height.
It was just bad. And people like posing like with weird flexes, like with rifles and hunting. And it's like, dude,
Did
just
you ever
stop.
meet anyone in person, or were you just on the websites?
I met people from the website.
Really?
Yeah, I
and
went
this
on
was
a
when
few
your
dates.
college time, or
I would say
older?
early 20s. Yeah, early 20s, mid 20s.
You're
Eh.
a brave soul to be just linking up with people.
You know what it was, and this is why I want to talk to a therapist. I think it started when I was fresh out of a breakup. And I was like,
that
you know
does it.
what? I feel ugly. I want to feel pretty. I want to feel wanted. I want to feel like someone likes me. And so I was like, this is the quickest way to get that instant gratification.
Yeah.
Is if somebody likes my profile, oh, they think I'm cute. You know what I mean? So, and then
Yeah.
just kind of snowball to like, oh, maybe I can actually find, love on
Somebody,
here,
yeah.
whatever.
Any
God.
successful stories? Or were they
No.
all fails? Really?
No, they were all like,
So when you met up with
Ugh,
these people
yeah.
in person, how
Not
was
that I can
that?
remember.
Was it
Um,
like, this is weird?
no, I remember it all just being like pretty friendly, but I do remember, we can make this another episode, but I remember going on a date with the guy. I can't remember if I met him on the website. I'm pretty sure I met him on the website because I don't think I met him any other way. We went on a bowling date, and I'm not good at bowling. I didn't know he was great at bowling, like excellent, but he
Wait,
made
who
sure.
suggested that date? He did.
I'm pretty sure it was him. This was years ago, so I can't remember who
Oh,
suggested it. I'm
gosh.
pretty sure it was him because he was excellent at bowling and he did not want me to not see that. So
Oh,
he beat me
my.
in every game, like brutally. He didn't even let me win once. He
That
didn't-
had to like be annoying.
it was because I'm like, dude, you're not here to date me. You're here to beat me. You're not here to like, show me a good time. You're here to basically feel good about your skills. It like, embarrassed
That
me.
really is annoying. I will say, that totally reminded
Oh,
me of the time when me and JP first dated, and he loves basketball and he's really good. And I played basketball, and I'm not, the greatest player, but I can play. But we played 1-on-1, and this fool is 5'10". I'm 4'10". Like, you really think blocking me is like a huge advantage? Like, come on. It just kind of sucked the fun. It just reminded me of that. It just sucked the fun. Like, okay, you're huge. Like, I know you're going to beat me. But he was just taking it out like so serious. Like,
I thought he was taller than that.
I swear he's taller than that, but he calls himself 5'10". He's probably 5'11".
Darius
but-
is 5'10", and he's taller than him.
See, JP's just humble like that.
Oh, okay. I'm like, he's
But-
at least 6.
I know. Okay. But let's backtrack. So speaking of dating sites, well, MySpace isn't really a dating site, but I will tell you the backstory of how me and JP, I don't really want to say met, but reconnected. We
Okay,
reconnected on MySpace, which is really funny because we met in person at the park at a basketball court, but in that time I think we were seeing different people, and it was more of a brief like, hey, what's up, because I went to visit with my brother and my cousin, because my cousin's friends with JP, and JP was playing basketball at the time. And then I just remember he had long hair, and I think he even had braces, and this was years before the MySpace friend request.
Okay.
And then, so years later, he added me on MySpace. And at that time, I was only adding, well, I think, yeah, my whole MySpace time, I was only adding people I knew in person. And so
Right.
I remember looking at his page, like, who's this guy trying to add me? And then I see my cousin on his top 8.
Oh,
And so I was like, he was high up there too. Like, it had to be like top
2 or 3.
yeah, like top 3 or like in the top 5. And then so I was like, oh, my cousin's on there. And then he started to come, like his face kind of looked familiar to me because I think he had short hair in the pictures. But then I was like, oh, I think I remember meeting him that like one time. So then, you know, me being me, I like, before I added him, I like was like, I messaged him like, hey, like, didn't we meet at the park or whatever? But what also intrigued me was he had an Usher song on his MySpace, and it was Trading Places.
Nailed it.
And I was like, oh, this guy's probably
Bingo.
my vibe because it's Usher. But then I was like, was he stalking me? Because I had Usher on my MySpace.
Ooh.
And so I'm just kidding. I don't know, because I don't think it was private. I think it was like, you know, wasn't it MySpace public? Like
I think it
or you
could
could
have
set
been.
it like
Yeah.
to right. I don't think mine was private. So anyways, I messaged him, and then that's where the conversation started, and he was like, yeah, and then it kind of escalated to where we were talking on AIM, AOL Instant Messenger, for those who don't know what AIM is, because I had my screen name on my MySpace. And then I just remember sitting in college in one of my classes, and it had to be my like boring class that I wasn't like whatever, you know, it wasn't anything crazy, and got an instant message, and then it was him. And then I was like, oh shoot, what's up? Like, okay. And then it was just kind of like the conversation popped up from there, and then it led to like phone calls, and then
Nice. And then it led to you being in his top 8.
and then it led to a 1-year-old and, you know, a baby on the way.
There we go.
Well, we are married, so
Oh, that's so
we've been together for what, 15 years. Married for, I have to like count now, like 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Yeah, like 5 years married now.
Wow.
It's 15 years, 5 years married.
Dang.
So
Well,
crazy.
Congrats, and dang,
Thank
how
you.
time flies.
I know. That got me out of breath. I'm like,
So,
hot.
question: did you ever get down to the bottom of, did he have an Usher song on his page because of you or not? Did you ever
You
get
know
down to the
what?
bottom of that?
We did talk about it, and I think he admitted that like he noticed I had Usher on there, but he is an Usher fan too.
Okay.
Because I mean, I did take him to an Usher concert, and
That's right, that's
He is
right.
an Usher fan. Like he's a very like the 90s like R&B vibes, and yeah, so he's
that
fan.
good
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
That
But
good
okay,
music.
so it was really funny. Shout out to my cousin Mikey, because he's the one that they're like really good friends. And prior, I just remember growing up hearing, because I knew all my cousin's friends, and I was like, oh, he would always be like, I'm kicking it with the homie JP. I'm like, who's JP? Like, why do I know all your friends but not him? And I just heard his name a lot, like over time. And then finally when he added me, and because we hung out in college a lot because we went to the same school, me and my cousin Mikey, and I was like, hey, your homie JP's trying to add me on MySpace, like, what's that about? And then he goes, he's like, what? He's like, stay away from him, he's my homie, he's a good guy. And then that was like what made me like light bulb, oh, he's a good guy, oh, stay away from him. And you know, you do the opposite of that. So I was like,
Wow.
I'm gonna like get to know this guy now, because I was
Hilarious.
like, it really piqued my interest at that point.
Wow, that reverse psychology right
Yes.
there. Oh my god.
But later on, he was like, oh, I should have introduced you guys sooner.
Oh,
But
see?
it was funny because it led to our first date. Our first date, he took me to go get pho, Vietnamese food, and then after that, like we had such a good time, like getting to know each other, that like we're like, oh, we still wanted to hang out, and then he's like, oh, let's go hang out at Mikey's house by surprise. So he hits up Mikey, but Mikey didn't know that I was with him. So when we showed up, he was like, what? Are you guys on a date? And it was funny because I was like, no. And he was like, yes. And I said no because to me, I was like, oh, we're just like friends hanging out.
Yeah. It's
you
casual.
know, casual. But I was like liking him already because like
Aw.
we had that. It was cheesy, like a movie, like finishing each other's lines type of cheesy.
Aw.
I'm like, who is this guy? Like we just like had that kind of chemistry
Aw.
right off the bat. So that was cool.
I love that.
So that was our MySpace love story.
Aw, I like that so much. So when you saw his page, was there anything about it aside from the Usher song that jumped out at you? Like, was it super customized?
You know what? It wasn't that. He wasn't even that. But I was really intrigued. I was just like his pictures of himself, I'm like, oh, he's okay. Like I wasn't like, oh my goodness, like he's like drop dead gorgeous. But I will say when we went on that first date in person, I was like, he's way better looking in person, and that's a huge compliment.
Oh, yeah.
Than, you know, like he didn't look bad in the pictures, but I was more impressed in person. I was like, oh, he's like
there
a
you
cute
go.
guy. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, and that was his buff days too, where he was like hitting the gym like all the time. And
He's not
taking,
buff
like,
now.
He's like cut and slim, but now he got like a little bit of a dad bod. But I don't know. People will like joke about that, but because they don't like Aaron's over there like, nah, he doesn't got a dad bod. But
JP is like one of the fittest people
You-
I know.
you guys don't even know his little cookie and ice cream habits all the time with his little belly that he has growing.
his little pooch.
Yeah,
Underneath.
underneath all the cookies. He's gonna hate me for saying all this.
Dang,
Nah,
lucky
yeah.
him.
Nah,
though.
Aaron's like, nah, that's my boy. Don't be
Dude.
saying that about him.
honestly, if he can sneak in a cookie or two, good for him.
Oh, yeah.
Dang, I wish I had the kind of discipline to like be that in shape and still have a treat.
Yeah,
Because for me, one treat leads to 4 or 5.
yeah. See, it's
It-
different for women, man. It goes
is,
straight
isn't
to
It goes straight
everywhere.
to where you don't want it to go.
Exactly.
Can it go straight to my brain? I'd like to be smarter, not bigger, not heavier. That's hilarious. So
Yeah.
let's talk about your MySpace page,
Yes.
Hazel. So we already know
I
that
loved
you had
my
Usher.
MySpace.
We already know you had Usher playing on there.
Yes.
So do you remember, like, were you someone that changed your page all the time, or did you keep it like a set look, a set aesthetic, a set color?
So my MySpace, I loved learning how to code and like
Yeah.
change everything, but I don't think I changed it. Bless you.
Thank you.
I don't think I changed it too much. I do remember like I would have Usher background or whatever, but it wasn't. I didn't change it too much. If anything, I changed the songs more. And maybe the top 8s.
Yeah. Oh.
The controversial top 8s. And it's kind of like, I remember seeing this meme recently saying like, Gen Z would not be able to hang because they wouldn't be able to handle like the top 8s. Because if they got moved around, they'll get so like butthurt
Yes.
or whatever.
Yes.
It's true. They wouldn't get, millennials had some thick ass skin. Like,
You know, that's true, but at the same time, I do know some people that were very sensitive about their top 8
yeah. Oh,
and top
yeah.
16, where it's like so like when Twitter became a thing, subtweeting became a thing, right? Where it's kind
Yeah.
of like, oh, I saw what you tweeted. Are you subtweeting about me? Are you talking
if
shit?
the shoe fits.
Right? So when MySpace was a thing and the top 8 would get shuffled around, people would thought that was subliminal too.
Right.
Where it's like, why am I taken out, or why am I moved from 6 to 7 or 7 to 8?
Uh-huh.
You know, and it's so funny because social media was so new that it's kind of like, it's just MySpace. It's
Yeah.
not serious. But fast forward to now, if a celebrity unfollows another celebrity,
It's a big deal.
it's like, oh, they're no longer in a relationship. They're no longer talking. There's
Right.
beef. So now social media moves are everything.
Or like when you break up and then you take off all your exes' pictures and stuff.
Yeah, like that says a lot.
eesh.
But yeah, back then, like during MySpace, it was kind of just like, oh, we're having fun, we're shuffling things around. It shouldn't be too serious, but now it's kind of developed into a way of communicating how you
Right.
feel about people.
Yeah.
So like if you unfriend someone or move somebody away from your top 8 or 16, that means you guys have beef. Like, you know what I mean? It gave us a new language
Yeah.
in a way to kind of like communicate who we're cool with and who
Okay.
we're not cool with.
Who was it? Because I know you're an only child, but I feel like default family is usually like maybe the top 3. But being that you were an only child, did you have any like family members, like cousins maybe or whatever, or in your top, or was it your like best friends?
You know what? I remember keeping my top 8 just to 8. I remember you can increase it to 16. I kept it to just 8, and I think I just put like a couple of cousins and like my close friends and like my favorite coworkers, I think.
It's funny too when you start dating like somebody, they like move up the top, like they're like number 3 after your like sister or brother. And they like
yeah, it's like, wow, this is your power ranking of like
Yeah.
all of the people in your life.
Yeah.
It kind of became that, which is kind of funny, but that was one thing that I kind of was sensitive to, was like, okay, or maybe I'm just like an overthinker where it's like, oh man, if I move her down to here and him over there, would they be mad at me? You know what I mean? I was thinking about that. Like, yeah. So I don't think I changed my top 8 too much.
I think I do briefly remember me and JP getting into argument, and it wasn't about the top 8. I think it was engagement, and he's not really that big of a social media person to begin with. And so I think I would just kind of get butthurt, like, oh, you didn't like comment, da da da, or I don't know. And now looking back, I'm like, that was so dumb, because it's not about that. It's not like relationships are about like what you proclaim on social media, but at that time I was just like stupid and young, so I was just kind of like, and then I think it led to him deleting his MySpace.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because he was just kind of causing too much drama.
Speaking of,
Yeah.
just significant others and social media, I was dating someone at the time who was a performer. And you know how you can embed YouTube videos
Oh, yeah.
on MySpace?
Yeah.
I embedded one of his performance videos on mine just to kind of show him like, yeah, I really like you. So stupid. It was dumb. Yeah. And I kind of...
I really like you.
Yeah,
Like on your
yeah.
actual profile.
Yeah. Like instead of like putting a music video on there, I put one of his performance videos on there just to, I don't
Prove
know,
a
just,
point.
not really, just to kind of show him like, yeah, I'm really
Support.
into you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I support what you do and things like that. But now looking back, I was like, damn, that was cheesy, because
Yeah.
we were never in a relationship. Like, but we kind of liked each other.
Dated.
We were vibing. Yeah.
Talking.
Talking, dealing with each other. I hate those terms. But yeah, we were.
You know what's funny? Aaron brought back a term that I haven't heard in a while. He said earlier, cupcaking. And I was like, I started laughing because I haven't heard that one in so long. And for the kids that don't even know, that was kind of how you, what is like the term, like simping? Kind of?
Yeah.
Like you're not, is it like flirting kind of? Or like,
To me, yeah, cupcaking is kind of like macking.
yeah.
Oh,
like
that's
macking,
another word that kids
like
don't know.
simping, like, what's the
Like
term
being all,
now? Not Riz.
Ooh, or like
Because Riz is like
Riz
being
is-
charismatic, right?
Mm-hmm. I sometimes cupcaking to me, depending on who used it in whatever context, to me it sounded like they were talking about someone who was whipped,
Kind of.
like super,
Yeah.
like kind of way too into his girl or whatever, and
Yeah.
ignoring everybody else around him. Kind of.
I thought, yeah, it's like simping.
Yeah, a little
That's
bit,
what it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
But I thought of it more as like kind of on the cusp of like flirting, you know?
Yeah,
Right? Kinda?
I think so.
It's all of that mixed together.
It's in that. It's
I'm just
in
trying to
that
think of
area.
what the term is now so that kids would understand that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's Riz, because that's more of like,
Riz is like you're trying to get the girl. Cupcaking is like you
you
already got the girl.
yeah, that's true. You're right. you're
Yeah,
right.
I
I don't
think
know the
so.
term then. You can tell us. comment that term.
How about this? Canoodling.
Canoodling. That's even older than us.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my goodness.
Yeah. You know what? While we're on the topic, I just wanted to throw out some MySpace facts.
Okay.
Because it is such an iconic like piece of cultural significance to us.
Oh, definitely.
So I went on the Wikipedia and I just pulled up some facts. So MySpace was launched in 2003, August
Damn.
1st of 2003.
And it was only for college students at the time.
Oh, that was Facebook.
Oh yeah. How did I get that mixed
was
up?
me. Well, because
Wow.
you know what? I remember a lot of people leaving MySpace when they got their a Facebook account.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what happened to me, at least. Where like I was
I
at work.
loved MySpace though,
Me
way more than Facebook.
too.
Just the way that you can customize it.
Yeah,
it was really
true.
fun.
I think
That was an end of an era.
I might be wrong, but I think with Facebook, the status updates was something that MySpace didn't
Kinda lagged,
have.
huh?
Yeah, so I think everybody liked that, where it's like, ooh, if you're my friend, I can, and you post a status, it'll automatically pop up on my homepage.
Right.
Whereas with MySpace, I think you would kind of have to like go into different forums to see what people are talking about, or to visit someone's page, or just like
true.
private message each other.
Yeah.
And that's how you talk to other people. But with Facebook, it was more like out in the open.
It was on the timeline for
Yeah.
everyone, yeah.
So I think
But
that's what it
I
was.
thought Facebook was really fun when it was only for the students though. Before all the
Yeah.
moms and the titas
Yeah.
and everybody was on
Yeah, I definitely
Yeah.
joined it a little bit late. I overheard my coworkers talking about it, and I was like, "What's Facebook?" And they're like, "Oh, it's it's a thing. It's like MySpace, but it's for like college students." I'm like, "Oh, I wasn't a college student, so I was like, I probably wouldn't interest me." But then after some time, I was like, "Let me see what this is about." Oh, I don't have to be in school to do this. So yeah, that was part of the problem. But oh, here's the thing. So from 2005 to 2009, MySpace was the largest social networking site in the world, but Friendster existed simultaneously, but did
Yeah.
not have as much success. Did you have Friendster?
I had it, but I wasn't as active. Because that was more like Asians, right?
Yes,
On the-
yes.
Yeah, I had it for sure, but yeah, barely used it.
Yeah, I never used it. I think Friendster and like Asian Avenue was one too.
Oh,
right?
yeah, I heard of that. I don't think I was on Asian Avenue, though.
Yeah. So it looked like Friendster only survived until 2006, and it was mostly in the Asian markets. But by late 07, 08, MySpace was considered the leading social networking site and consistently beat out its main competitor, Facebook, in traffic.
Interesting.
Initially, the emergence of Facebook did little to diminish MySpace's popularity at the time. Facebook was targeted only at college students. But on April 19th of 2008, Facebook overtook MySpace in Alexa rankings. And in May 2009, Facebook surpassed MySpace in the number of unique U.S. visitors. And from that point, MySpace grew a consistent loss of membership. So I think it's probably around the time I left. MySpace was like around 2010, maybe.
Yeah.
And then and Twitter continually added new features to improve their social networking experience. So a lot of people started going to Twitter. And then since 2019, MySpace has been placed in a read-only mode of sorts. So it's kind of like not even interactive anymore. It's read-only.
Interesting. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So no new articles.
Because I think we fell off already on MySpace by then. Yeah.
It's gone through so many like dips in failures and things like that. So no new articles have been published since early 2022, and media uploads are now disabled. Most of the images on the site seem to be broken, and existing songs cannot be played.
Wow.
So
it's pretty
that-
much dead now.
How sad is that?
It's sad. It's really sad.
What a way to go.
I know.
So it's still like if you type in myspace.com, it'll still pop up, but it's nothing at all like it used to be
No.
in its heyday. Oh, you know what everybody's favorite thing about joining MySpace was?
What?
Getting greeted by their first friend,
Tom.
Tom from MySpace. So, and
With
Aaron
his
wanted us to do
whiteboard?
he wanted to, it was the pen, right? He was just like,
With his whiteboard in the back.
yeah, with his whiteboard in the back.
And his smile.
and
like,
his pen. So before I finished my notes, I wanted to know what Tom was doing, and it's basically saying that if you go onto Tom's other social medias, he's been basically jet setting and hanging out in the most tropical places like Oahu and Philippines and Maldives.
Oh, wow.
So he shares a lot of his experiences through photographs and, other social media posts. So I'm happy for Tom. It looks like he's thriving, even though MySpace is no longer thriving. Yeah,
Aw.
so that's basically a little bit of our MySpace experience in a nutshell.
It was fun going back, like remembering those times.
Memory lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys, Instagram wouldn't exist. TikTok wouldn't exist
True.
without MySpace. Twitter, Facebook wouldn't exist without MySpace. like Hazel said, Gen Z, you probably wouldn't be able to handle being in and out of somebody's top 8. It'll be a little bit too chaotic for you.
Might cry about it.
Might cry about it.
Y'all sensitive.
Yeah. That's right. So any final thoughts, Hazel, before we wrap up?
Yeah, just let's not forget about MySpace, and it was an end of an era.
Yeah. If anybody can still access their MySpace, please share images, posts, and like everything like that you can with us on our social medias, because we can't access ours.
I know.
We're locked out.
Yeah, I think after you don't log in for so long, I'm sure it just kind of like deletes or something like that. But
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it was fun catching up on that, on
definitely was.
reminiscing.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, you guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Be sure to listen in. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube.
Yeah, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, help us out with those ratings. Thank you so much, and thank you to everybody who's new and who has been listening already. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah, basically, definitely like, subscribe, and share. Spread the word. If you like our podcast, let your friends know, and let's build a little community.
Hey,
And we'll catch you next time.
peace.
Bye.